When working with automation, working with strings is going to be very powerful, as a lot of the automation tasks are going to require updating fields, moving columns, creating Word documents, all sorts of information where we're going to want to take a string we have and modify it a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at how some of these string functions work. So let's go ahead and create a new cell down here by hitting escape and then B to create a new cell. You could always just hit insert cell from up here as well to get the commands. And let's go ahead and run some of these in order. So if we have two strings here, a string and a string 2, and we run it, nothing's going to happen, as we're just putting information into two variables. So you'll notice on the first one there's double quotes, and on the second one there's single quotes. That does not make much of a difference, as we can print out both of those. And you'll see that there's not much of a difference in if you use single quotes or double quotes in Python. There's an a string, and we're going to print out a string 2. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like when you run that command, and you see that we get hello world across both of them. So let's go ahead and look at something a little bit more complex. So when using the index command on a string with the function .index, you're going to be able to find out where the first occurrence of that letter occurs in the string. So if we were to run the index on the 0, you'll notice that it appears on the 4th character. Now you'll wonder why it's 4, because it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But essentially, indexes are like arrays, and in programming, they start at 0. So really, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do this command here, where it's going to take the string, and we're going to do a string count L. And in that case, we're going to come back with the value 3. What the count is doing, it's counting the number of times this string appears in the letter L appears in the string. So we have 3 L's. Fairly straightforward. Let's go ahead and run the a string with an array. So let's say we wanted to look at a string 0. Strings can be treated as arrays where everything is a character. So if we were to look at the first character in here, we would get H. If we were to look at the second character, we would get E. And similar, you can find different parts of a string by looking through an array. Again, you could run more advanced columns here, and here we go. We're going to get the L right here. So a couple other functions are going to be the upper and lower. So what happens is when we're able to take entire strings and change them to all uppercase or all lowercase. This could be applied to single characters, or it could be applied to the entire string like we saw here. The starts with and end with commands are again also useful, and when you run those, it's just a true and false statement. So does this string start with hello? Yes, it does. Comes back with a true. Does this end with some random character? It is false. This will come in handy in automation when you're looking for file delimiters or file names and parsing file structures. The last item we want to look at is the split command. When you run the split command, we're going to be splitting the string on the empty space right here. Oops, and you see nothing comes back, so we don't have a print. So let's go ahead and print the 2 items. And what happens is the first variable is going to be the entire word. The split, on the other hand, goes ahead and splits the entire string and puts it into a list. So this is now in its own array. So we could call each word individually by referencing an array, which we'll look at later on. And let's look at the first element in it. And like we said, the first element is going to be 0. And you have hello. And if we were to change that to the second element, we would have world. And if we were to look at the 2, which does not exist, you would get index list is out of range because there was not a third character in this array.